everyone here. Getting into the finals, map 1, Inferno. The pick of KEYD Stars. Their competition will be Liquid, starting on that CT side as they had their choice of sign. And of course, you're going to elect for that easier defense here on Inferno. But KEYD, I mean, they are no slouches on this T side. That much we know. And pistol round underway. I'm Helium, of course, joining me, Mendez. What's going on?
Not much, man. Just really looking forward to this game. I cannot wait to get into the business end of these maps. And already the grenades come up. Don't do as much damage as I was expecting. I thought FugLy would be close to death, but I think one of those grenades just landed a couple millimeters the wrong side of the car as far as KEYD Stars are concerned. And yeah, they are going to get flanked maybe from EliGE, who's pushed down mid. Flashbang comes in, but just flashes the terrorist. So EliGE is completely fine, and he opens up, gets the one frag, maybe can get more. No, he gets dropped, but now adreN just drops 2 players so comfortably, and now KEYD Stars on a 2v4.
adreN capitalizing on that chaos that EliGE created there in middle by the bench. And he was even able to find one adreN, of course, with those 2. We'll leave boltz and now ZQK by themselves in Banana. It does seem to be the site that KEYD will be more likely to work throughout their matches here on Inferno. But, I mean, taking a 2v4 is almost too much to ask. It'll have to be some crazy individual efforts. flowsicK trying to hold them back here on these spools. One has got through and coming up through construction. I don't know if they're aware of this, but flowsicK does go to an easier position to hold. He'll move back in the dark. ZQK, though, with that Glock, going to find 1 and 2. That grenade assisting there from boltz. They've gotten to the site of 2-on-2, and they're even getting the bomb down. Now, adreN coming from CT spawn, and up Banana is Nitro.
It's great work so far, but they're going to have to finish off this round, KEYD Stars. Just to claw themselves back into this position is impressive enough, but Nitro gets the headshot onto ZQ. And now adreN's in a 1 versus 1. The bomb is ticking down ever so fast. He does have a defuse kit, so if he can get this frag soon, he will win this round out for his team. He's got a smoke as well. Is he going to fake it? It looks to be the case right now. Going for the full defuse. Does boltz have the bullets to put down? No, he doesn't, and it's going to get defused as well. As boltz pulls out his knife and swishes and misses. And somehow Team Liquid pick up the first round. I have no idea how that just happened, Helium. I'm mind blown right now.
Well, KEYD really had no business of winning that round anyways, but some crazy efforts from boltz and ZQK to storm in there and get the bomb down. But I guess, I mean, you can't really use the ball never lies, but I mean, something isn't lying here as Team Liquid were able to just somehow win that. Having the smoke and having the kit, right? It just, at least someone went in for that buy up on the pistol round, because a lot of these times we'll just see armor on these players or maybe just 1 kit, but he was the one there with it and couldn't have won the round without it. So Team Liquid take that pistol round. KEYD, though, I mean, they know that it was extremely costly. They actually both lived at the end. That's funny. So let's see what they can do. Once again, going towards Banana. Probably going to be seeing this a lot from the KEYD Stars, the Brazilian players here.
Playing this one so slow. And are they going to rush through the smoke? I'm really doubtful. I think they're just going to wait and bide their time here for Liquid to throw their utility away. Here comes the molly from ZQK, and here we go. It's getting hot in there. EliGE needs to move position, but that's a beautiful flashbang, and that buys up the SMG spray down. And just like that, pick it up with style. Do not lose a single player. And that flash was ridiculous. It blinded the entirety of KEYD Stars. They did not know what was hitting them.
Yeah, the KEYD Stars flash out was actually really good as well. It seemed like those 2 Team Liquid players were blind, but for not quite as long, and they also had prepped. They saw that smoke go down, and they saw the flashes, smokes, Molotovs come over. They put a Molotov of their own, and, you know, coming through blind, and not only blind, but from both the smoke and the flash, walking into the Molotov and then the spray down of the submachine guns. There was just absolutely no hope on that round, and that's the second time I've seen KEYD Stars on this map, and that's exactly their answer. That second round, they just go for the Tech-9 kind of set Molotovs, a couple set smokes, and they try to take that B site, and it does work for them. But Team Liquid either expecting it, or even if they weren't, clearly able to shut it down with that B defense. Now, working their way up middle is KEYD. They keep being forceful here, despite no CTs even going down in that round. So the CT money already going to get off to a pretty good start here, but 5-on-3 just like that. The Galils do storm up that arch side. They've taken it over, and they shut down EliGE, who was coming up middle on the flank, so it's FugLy and Pit, and right there alongside him is Nitro. Oh, looks like they spotted boltz, I think. FugLy actually going to see a player down there in middle as well, making his way up Banana. He'll switch out for that FAMAS, but this is going to be tough. Team Liquid should really just consider saving these.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they've got a defuse kit, but they're in a 2v5, and they only have flashbang. No smokes, no Molotovs to draw out the KEYD Stars players. And yeah, KEYD Stars keep forcing up. It makes for great, entertaining Counter-Strike, though. And you just saw them rush through arches and bag themselves multiple frags, and now it finds himself maybe picking up that first round. And it really should be the first round. They are going to lose a player in the form of boltz, but it simply doesn't matter because they carry forward 4 assault rifles with Kevlar and a few nades. Job done for them, and you can see the economy now from Liquid is pretty horrific. So they're going to force buy with a CZ and a FAMAS. But KEYD Stars, if they just rinse and repeat from that last round, Liquid will start to get into eco territory.
While the economy for the CT side is, of course, a little shattered because they lost, this is the best case scenario you could possibly have, right? Round 2, they had 5 players remain living, which means they didn't have to rebuy anything into round 3. So, I mean, if that wasn't the case, if they had lost, I think, like any players, like 2 or 3 players in that second round, they'd be forced to eco right here. But no, they can try to keep that pressure up. flowsicK will be relegated down to that CZ, a FAMAS on adreN, but there are still 3 M4s. However, Team Liquid going to have to rely heavily on their aim because they have no smokes, no nades, no anything. But look at this, Banana. EliGE and flowsicK, 1 pop flash to rule Banana, and they take control.
Yeah, EliGE, one of those players that we said to watch out for in this game, performing fantastically in the semi-finals. But KEYD Stars, they have been caught out from this force spike. They get a frag in return from Fur, but he is under fire. 1 HP left on Nitro, but there is EliGE, the man.
How was he not burning? There
we go.
It's finally spread.
He turns around and faces his fate like a man. He's like, okay, I'm going to go out, but I'm going to go out swinging. Either way, though, the rest of his team just stepping up there. And that force, I think it was a forced CZ on EliGE, I believe?
flowsicK.
flowsicK, yeah. Came good in Banana. They got the frags, and now you can see that KEYD Stars are back into a position where they could potentially force buy, but I'd like them to save here. I'd like them to just get some Tech 9s. That's what they're doing.
Also on that round, KEYD going towards the A site. So getting it done at the other bomb site as well. But look at this aggression coming out from Team Liquid once again.
They just want to
Down
keep
middle,
pushing.
playing very aggressive, and that can work for your CT side. Just get in the face of those terrorists. Don't let them have any control of the map whatsoever. Of course, that is kind of a high-risk, high-reward strategy, but it works out here quite well, as terrorists were not quite forced up in terms of their equipment. So just that Tech 9 here for Fernando, and a very far-off dream.
Yeah, right now it is pretty much a dream. A minute to save, or maybe try and get some frags for himself. He does have the bomb, he does have a smoke and a flashbang, so the most he can hope for is maybe a cheeky frag or 2 at most, but really that's going to be all she wrote for this round. You've got to feel for KEYD Stars. We have seen crazier things happen in Counter-Strike, but this is going to be, well, it would have to be a Herculean throw from Team Liquid, to be fair to them. They've all got 100% of their HP, they've all got big amounts of weaponry and grenades at their disposal.
Should have been spotted there.
Yeah, he's been spotted now, pushing into apps. There we go. So fate has been sealed with a beautiful headshot from FugLy in apps. And our KEYD Stars, because of their previous save, they can start to buy up some big weapons as well. Though, again, it's not going to be fantastic. Fallen's on 3.6k, and boltz is on 3.9, so it's going to be Galils for them too.
Yeah. Galils and nades coming out. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised to just skip a Galil completely and stay on a Tech 9, as it can be very powerful when trying to clear out the apartments, or even, you know, getting that initial control of Banana, or running into the B site. But no, they'll take the rifles. A little bit more automatic and, of course, better at long range. Let's see what KEYD can do. They don't have that many Molotovs, so I'll be surprised if they go for their, like, kind of bread and butter B-take strategy, because it generally involves 2 to 3 Molotovs. But let's see EliGE peeking out now and continuing the destruction that he did on the last couple maps we saw him on. He peeked out and he'll find Steel. And now KEYD trying to start this round 4v5, and Inferno is such a hard map to start off with a man disadvantage on the T side.
Oh, absolutely. For me as a player, T side of Inferno is like the most depressing side, other than Nuke maybe. I just cannot stand playing this. You feel so claustrophobic, so few options. It's really about bursting onto a site and using, you know, the strength in numbers mentality. So as you say, losing that first player really hurts, because it's going to be less grenades across the board as well, but more importantly, less bullets flying into faces. And you can see here, only 2 CT stacked on A. So that's going to leave 3 players with a beautiful crossfire from Liquid, 30 seconds, and you've got to feel that KEYD Stars are about to walk into a trap, but that opening pick onto adreN may give them an opportunity to work with here. They've got 2 frags back themselves, but there's that man at the moment. EliGE once again reigns in with 2 kills. Now it's all on Fallen. He pulls himself back. He wants to save this AK, and he should be able to do it with 10 seconds to go.
Yeah, Fallen is falling back. He will save that AK, and I mean, you can use all these smokes and flashes to make getting those entries a little bit easier, you know, catch those CTs blind or completely unaware that you're coming through a smoke that maybe they're not covering. But at the end of the day, you've got to step up and you've got to hit those entries. I mean, similar to what they did on the pistol round, right? K-Stars came through and absolutely took over that bomb site on the pistol. 2v, I think, 4 at the time, and almost won the round. Probably should have won the round. But when it comes down to the rifles, the frags aren't quite there. This well-timed aggression over towards Banana for Liquid. EliGE in particular leading that charge. Also down middle, I think, from Nitro has been good. And you got a player like Steel with 0 frags. He's not really known as the insane fragger for KEYD Stars, but you got to be getting kills on T-side.
Definitely. Everyone's got to be chiming in. And that's one of the reasons why they do progress through to the finals. I mean, yes, Foe was their standout player against Luminosity, but when you look at the kill spread, you got boltz on 22 frags, Steel's on around 19 frags on the first map, and everyone around 20 frags in the second. So everyone was pretty much pulling their weight with Fur leading the charge. If they can't rinse and repeat that, this could quickly get out of hand. And remember, this is KEYD Stars' choice of map. Fair enough, they're on T-side, but if Liquid win this going to cash, you've got to favor them to pick up this best of 3, surely.
Agree. It's not super uncommon, though, for a team to just win each other's maps. It happens more often than, you know, one would think. After all, there are only, what, 7 maps in the pool, and really only 4 to 5 of them get played by any given team. But, of course, I would agree. I mean, we saw Team Liquid just dismantle Cloud9 on Cash, and they're doing fantastic here. This KEYD is... This is the best opponent that KEYD's had to play in this tournament, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point that you raise. I think Liquid are going to be hot off the back of that confident performance, but it is going to be a trade out now with FugLy and Nitro both chiming in. Nitro with his second frag, looking for his third as well. Pulls out the Tech 9, but falling a bit too fast on the trigger. There's not enough time to play with, though, surely, for KEYD Stars. 10 seconds, that bomb is going down. So that's a saving grace, considering that they had, like, Tech 9 from Fallen gets another frag here. So they did quite a lot of damage and the bomb plant. You know, that could have gone a lot worse for KEYD Stars when you consider it was like, what, 15 seconds when they pushed into A site?
Yeah, could have gone a lot worse for Liquid. I mean, 3 Ks, even aces from that back corner as a terrorist, they do happen, right? Like, he had a chance to win that. If he had taken out that first guy with the 1-tap instead of getting reduced to just 4 HP, there was maybe a chance for Fallen, but still. I mean, just forcing up, having that 1-saved AK from Fallen and Tech 9's beside it. Pretty good round to, what do they kill? 3 people there they actually kill, which is nice. CTs are technically losing money in that case, with 3 members dead. And the bomb went down, and KEYD almost on max bonus. I mean, that's a ton of money for them. They'll have a solid round, and we'll see. They're going for this boost on the planter, and ZQKS pulls out the op, and the first shot he takes with it is a kill onto adreN.
Pretty huge. You know, we were just saying before about how the AWP's not the most impactful on T-side of Inferno, but of course if you do peek up and get the early frag, things are looking good for you. And now for all we were saying about losing an early player on T-side is pretty brutal. It's definitely the same on CT. It makes it harder to lock down the sites, it makes it harder to get that crossfire down. You can see now A is certainly a bit more vulnerable. Nitro's having to pull himself back to the site as the set smokes come into play. And Liquid, they can't afford to make any more mistakes here, or they could end up just whimpering out of this round. And this is a big one for KEYD. They need to start getting more rounds on their T side. Thus far, it's been very one-sided, but this is their best opportunity to strike. And with 45 seconds to go, they're looking to push on towards A through Fallen on arches. flowsicK there, just gets flashbang, but not too bad. And actually peeks with a flash out. Very lucky to get away with this life, but the flash is coming in from the Brazilians. And flowsicK's down to 3 HP. Fu will get this return kill. It's all on the EliGE. He's on the B site, and he's like, screw this noise, I just want to save this weapon. So KEYD do get their second round.
He's very content. He's like,
yeah,
you got it, team. I'll sit here. It doesn't quite work out. And, well, Team Liquid, that was a fantastic shot to get that, even though they lost adreN early, right? They weren't biting on the rotations. They were still having 3 people towards the A site. They didn't, you know, KEYD got the pick early in the round, so it's very likely that most teams would just revert to a 2-2 setup on the bomb sites on your CT side. But no, they kept 3 at A. KEYD still took it, though. They just exploded out that porch side. And the one person on Arch who was left, who had already taken damage from Fernando, couldn't retreat back into the site. All was lost in EliGE. Of course, Will saves, so money's actually still pretty good. Wow, those 4 rounds in a row, even though round 7 was somewhat costly. EliGE saving there, and with 10 grand, he can literally buy his entire team right now.
Yep.
So KEYD will have to win another rifle round here. Actually, let's see when all the buying is finished. Yeah, it should just be 1 rifle round. If KEYD win here, it's a kind of a 2-for-1 scenario. This will be a very important round 9 for these terrorists who, I mean, you don't really need that many rounds to work with on Inferno from your T side.
Agreed, especially when you consider that KEYD Stars have a very strong CT side as well. So I think they'll be eyeing up around 5 rounds. You know, 6 would be fantastic for them, but 5 would be definitely doable. 4 maybe even could still work, depending on if they get that pistol round. So KEYD Stars, depending on how you look at things, maybe already halfway there. And as you say, this round could potentially put them into 6-4 territory, and then they're looking really healthy, especially considering that at one point they were 6-1 behind. So how are they going to approach this? You see, last time around, Liquid gave away that opening pick. This time they've learned from those mistakes, not peeking mid, not trying anything too cheeky. They do have a very aggressive force down from Banana in the courtesy of EliGE, and you see a lot of teams doing this, throwing the smokes down. You get so much information from this position, Helium, where, you know, okay, the T's are not coming up Banana, and therefore it allows you to have almost this 4th roaming player towards A. You're seeing right now on Highway, there's flowsicK, and he can afford to do this, because they know that B's not going to be aggressed on for the next 10-15 seconds.
Yeah, just keep refreshing that smoke once you get control of Banana. And Team Liquid does only decide to just keep 1 person pushed down. I mean, that's a team's decision, and of course, depending on what's happening on the map at large. But EliGE is actually, he's forced to give up the control, so he'll fall back off onto the site. The rotation now coming over from flowsicK. EliGE is low, 22 HP, and Fallen will bring him down. CT smoked off. Are they watching the smoke, though? Looks like they were. flowsicK looked like he had an opportunity to maybe find a frag, but Fernando takes him down more or less immediately. And already, I mean, you've given up that B bomb site. KEYD in there with 4 more or less healthy players. Team Liquid with 2 100s and adreN on 10 HP will just hightail it out of there and save in these apartments.
As solid as EliGE has been tonight, he's on 12 for 3. You know, the guy is definitely the standout player on the entire server. He made a pretty big mistake there. He re-peeked CT side there from Banana, and he pulled a flashbang out as he peeked. I'm not sure if that was a mistake or if he wanted to flash to stop the incoming push, but he just got a frag in Banana. He knew they were pushing. He re-peeks, switches to a flashbang, gets wrecked, then the bomb's planted, and that's all she wrote for the round. So it's one of those positions where it's maybe a nitpicky thing to put, but when EliGE is in a position like that, you're thinking if he has his assault rifle out, he can get another kill or 2, and then that round's on for Liquid, right? They could retake potentially in a 3v3 scenario. Instead, it's pretty clear-cut for KEYD, and they do pick that 3rd round up.
Saving those guns was key for Liquid's chance here in round 10. They saved 3 of them, were able to drop another 2, and pretty healthy round. You know, that all being considered, just flowsicK with a FAMAS, EliGE with no kit, no head armor, but against all the AKs and the ops, not really a big deal. Fallen, they look to be starting things off towards alternate mid. I think it is very hard to see through that that little hole in the wall into that dark room, but I think he saw FugLy cross. That spam, though, did not quite connect. So trying to control up alternate and middle. You've got 1 terrorist. That's going to be boltz watching the banana push. So KEYD starts taking things slow at the start of this round, trying to just catch a CT in transition.
Problem there is that FugLy, I believe someone else ended up using their smokes to try and get him to safety. So that's 2 smokes already utilized from Team Liquid. The 3rd's just been dropped as well. Whereas on KEYD, they still have 4 in play. So that utility, although they didn't lose the kill, they still did expend quite a lot in that round already. Liquid, 40 seconds though. And of course, if their flashbangs and their mollies are on point, really, you can scratch the point I've just made because it's simply not going to matter. But look at this, a delayed rotation towards B, trying to bait out this A push. The CTs are not biting, though. They still have
what
2
a nade
onto B, and that grenade lands on the face of steel.
What kind of bounce was that?
In pieces. That was crazy. That was a bank and a half. But here comes the force from K-Stars anyway. They are hungry for some kills. EliGE is there on the tight left, gets 1 frag, but he gets traded out. 10 seconds. boltz has to go for this plant. And indeed, he will land it as well. But Fur is so low. That grenade has damage written all over it, but actually does nothing. I think it bounced just off the wall as boltz escaped to safety. So 2-on-2 retake in effect now. This is going to be tough for Liquid.
The end of the goldfish there in that fountain. It looked like it landed right in it. So poor little guys. But FugLy coming in for the 2-on-2. Fernando down to 30 HP. It looks like he'll be the player sitting in back of construction. There's boltz at new box, not wanting to peek, give Liquid an inch. And actually, he'll find that first frag. FugLy now in a quick 1v1, but boltz gets them both right there. 3K on the round, and KEYD picking up another here. And that's going to be 3 rounds in a row for the Brazilians here. Now within 2 of Liquid, and Liquid, how are they doing in terms of money? Not so good. KEYD should be able to put it within 1 here, pending some slick pistol work from the CTs.
Yeah, and that eco comes around late because Liquid managed to save 3 weapons, I should say, in round number 9, when it was EliGE that got caught on B. So they are going to be back to eco. They will be able to buy back up next round, whatever happens here. But is it going to be the difference between maybe FAMAS's and an AWP? We're just going to have to find out if we can get some frags and potentially the round. They do have enough pistols to play with to cause a bit of an upset here on Inferno, because a lot of the angles are very close. That's where the CZ really does come into play, and EliGE and Nitro both have that weapon. You've got a 5.7 as well, which is insanely strong. And look at this, 4-player stack on A. On B, I should say. Some would say that. That's definitely true.
Yeah, the B stacks, I mean, are where you can really pick up a lot of rounds, even on ecos as a CT. But of course, it's a coin flip that the terrorists will actually go there. Against KEYD, though, B seems like the appropriate site to stack. As KEYD, I think if you ran the numbers, it would be shown that they go to B quite often. But not on this round. They've just got 2 guys lingering around looking to throw the fake. They're going to get that information. They see the stack on the corner. You can probably assume at this point there's going to be more people in there. Now, coming up middle. Oh, they're actually turning it around. They've got those kills at B, so no, they're not reading into it as a stack. boltz, though, still looking, still prodding. Hasn't moved too far in. Now will peek wide. But still, those CTs are just sitting tight. Not doing anything. Molotov back into construction. Both players coming up. Looks like adreN. No, not even going to be able to get one. Will they clear out that new box? Yes, they will. Fernando takes care of that. Dark spot cleared by boltz. Nitro now coming up. He was the one player at A. He crept all the way up banana, but Steel is there waiting for him. He'll gun him down. Only ZQK to go down on the round, and there it is, 6-5. But another rifle coming out for Team Liquid.
I nearly got really, really scary, though, for KEYD. They had a player that got dinked on the push. I wasn't sure they were going to check the tight left box where boltz planted last round. And I was thinking, if you just hold in there, adreN, you could get yourself a couple frags. Didn't quite pay off for them, but still, they did maybe send a couple shivers up the spine of KEYD. Now, however, there is an AWP on the side of Liquid. It's in the hands of adreN. EliGE is going to have a quick peek here. I'm not sure this is the best play. He got a bit lucky there, honestly.
Yeah,
that AWP shot looked like it went through him. Jeez, that looked like it went through EliGE's face to me. But there you go. It's a 1-for-1 trade anyway.
Yeah, he was blind just pulling that trigger. Looked maybe a little bit to the left, but it was certainly close. So 4-on-4 just like that. They're trying to make their way into this site. Nitro will bring down one through the smoke. That was Fallen, and another good grenade there onto boltz. He goes into the smoke there. He wants to pick up that bomb, and he gets it. adreN, that's an op from porch side of middle to bring down Fernando, who I think was making his way out of boiler. Steel will now smoke off porch. Looks like he's trying to sell the idea that they're coming back to A, but indeed he goes back to banana to join up with boltz, and they'll try to take B 2-on-2 right now. I mean, if you can isolate your 2v2s, like, it's possible for KEYD, but you shouldn't really expect Team Liquid to lose this.
Yeah, they should definitely win, because they're going to have to be clean kills as well from KEYD. Otherwise, they're just going to get retook. But they do get the kill. However, there's flowsicK with the return frag. boltz gets the kill back onto him, and it's a bomb plant. And hey, even if KEYD were to lose from this position in the 2v4 with a bomb plant and 2 frags, they'll take it when you put it in that context. It looks like it is going to be the kill from adreN. That was a hell of a shot, by the way.
Aim punch with that op, and he brings it back down to the face of boltz. That was impressive.
That really was. boltz didn't have much of a chance, though, all things considered. Had no utility to play with. He was kind of caught between a rock and a hard place at the back of the site. Expected that Liquid would get the round at the 2v4, but again, KEYD really dragged that one out. They got a bomb plant, which is going to allow them to maybe buy up again with grenades at a latter stage.
ZQK is so poor. He had $0. Everyone else had like 10 grand.
That's a good point. I'm actually not sure what the answer is to that question.
Maybe, I mean, he has an opper, but we only saw him op that one round, and that was a while ago, right? To kind of start them off on this winning. I mean, that was 4 rounds in a row for the terrorists. They were so rich, they were starting to think about taking their vacation time over on DE Resort after this.
He has died 9 times, which is more than anybody else on his team.
Yeah, only by
So,
one,
I mean,
though.
But yeah, but only by one.
Must have been after time or something.
Yeah. Either way, they're easily able to buy it for him regardless, so he's got an AWP this round. And it's interesting as well to see that KEYD stars are going for the AWP again. You know, a lot of T-sides will just run with 5 AKs, they'll look for the set play, rush in a united force. But ZQKS is thinking, hey guys, I got this. Give me an inch, I'll take a mile. Just peek for me. Look at this again, K-stars. They seem to love this banana.
Yeah, they really do.
My goodness. Was that through smoke?
Very well might have been. I think he was up on the lumber there, so he might have been able to peer over it, or maybe just a well-timed spam. I mean, even through the smoke, you have a pretty good idea of where those CTs are generally going to be holding.
And in fairness, EliGE has consistently pushed banana. Like,
yeah,
that's a bit telegraphed at this point now, so maybe he needs to just dial that back in. Look at this push flow from KEYD stars already on short. 30 seconds.
2 on the site, though. Would they expect that?
Ooh, doesn't look likely, because Nitro just rings out with the AK, gets the second frag as well. There's FugLy. They were not expecting 2 in close proximity. ZQKS does answer back with a frag of his own, and with 15 seconds, they pick up the second player on A, which was Nitro, and at least flowsicK in a 1v2. 10 seconds, bomb's been planted. This is going to be tough. He's only got a flashback, and he's found himself put 6 foot under. KEYD stars with 6 rounds. I said they'd probably be happy with 5. 6 is pretty damn good, Helium. They could get a lot more here. Look at that economy. That economy is really bad for Liquid.
Liquid almost held on to that, right? The 2 in the site, Nitro starting it off big, FugLy with a kill from that single box as well, but Fallen and ZQK were able to pinch, because Fallen had come around that arch side and pinched that last player, I think, at FugLy into the bomb site. ZQK wasn't peeking. He was kind of just like no-scope shooting the box so that he'd have the attention of FugLy, and Fallen came around that corner and gunned him down. So well played for KEYD stars, but a little messy there at the start of that A take. And at 7-6, like you said, 6 rounds is more than enough to work with on this T side. At first, you know, people probably getting nervous. It looked like Team Liquid was about to run away with this. I think in like round 6 or 7, EliGE was 12-3, and now, you know, 6-7 rounds later, he's only 15-7. Like, they definitely did a good job of cooling down EliGE. His B aggression hasn't been as effective, and I mean, KEYD are rolling right now. They could still win the half even.
Because one of the things that I think EliGE excels at is when he's dictating the pace of the game, when he's calling the shots, as it were. I mean, you may not be the in-game leader, but when he's doing things that catch the enemy off guard, and it's like almost like a game of chess for him. You want to outthink your opponent 2 or 3 moves ahead of time. What KEYD stars have done, though, is consistently push up mid and forcing EliGE to try and play desperate plays. Here we go, they'll hold on to that thought, because we are having a trade out on archers, a 2-for-1. Not too terrible from Liquid considering they're on eco. Nitro's only on 1 HP though.
Fernando repeats it.
And wow, Nitro gets the frag. So hold the phones. Maybe there's another chapter to be written here on the business end of the CT side of Liquid, or maybe not, because Fer gets a 1-for-1 trade of his own. Nitro on 1 HP. How much can he realistically do without any smokes to play with? This should be KEYD stars, right? Surely they're going to win this round.
Nitro has already, though, killed 2 people on 1 HP. Maybe he'll get a 3rd and a 4th. Who knows? But no, he pushes through that smoke. boltz takes him out. It does get to a 1-on-1, but boltz, he's been in the quick, you know, 1v1, 1v2 scenarios quite a bit for KEYD stars, and he's prevailed, at least in my memory, on most of those occasions. So just like that, 7-7, and Team Liquid with only like 3.7k across the board. They're in a kind of awkward spot, but it's last round. I mean, you're forcing up, you're buying everything you can, and that's 3 FAMASs, no head armor, no kits, mag 7 with kits and full armor, and Nitro there with full armor and just an M4. At least they do have 5 smokes, and that will help your CT defense on Inferno, but it'll be tough against all AKs right now for KEYD.
I think who EliGE reminds me of in Inferno, Freiburg. He has a very similar style to Freiburg, pushing aggressively down banana and trying to just catch the enemy off guard. And that's what Nitro's doing right now, but it's going the way of K-stars.
Poorly timed from Liquid.
Expect the push from behind. No, they're not. He gets the double. And more importantly than that, perhaps, he gets the bomb down in a horrible place for KEYD stars. That smoke is going to force Fallen to think twice about pushing through, because you're always going to come out second best, and now it's boltz. So Team Liquid are finishing this half strong. But still 8-7. That's surely not good enough.
I have to apologize to Nitro, I guess. He kind of baited his teammate there, but it turned out to be a very positive result. I expected them to go for that sort of stairs, or the pushed up in the long hall of apartments and the boiler stairs crossfire, but Nitro didn't peek out, and since he didn't peek, It seemed like KEYD assumed it was clear. They kept moving on, and then he just backstabbed them and sprayed them both down, and that was pretty much the round right there. Looks like mid held as well, and yeah, 8-7. Team Liquid, I mean, barely winning. They win the half numerically, but not really emotionally, I guess would be the other term. KEYD with 7 is intense, and now they're going to be on that CT side, though. A lot of ground to be made up on either side by winning this pistol.
Now, KEYD will be way, way more content with that halftime scoreline than Liquid. As you say, they'll be happier. Well, the Liquid are technically ahead, but for how long is the key question. They really need this round. This is pretty huge for Liquid. Even if KEYD Stars lose this pistol, they're still in great shape for me. Let's see how it works out. Fallen is going to be pushing down. And as the smoke's going to stop Liquid from pushing for the next few moments here, and that keeps them pretty much locked into position. Still got grenades to play with. It's going to be slow. We're here for the long haul here, Helium. I think it's going to be a case of waiting for the smokes to dissipate and then rushing through from Liquid.
Yeah, there's generally only so many, like 2 or 3 smokes at max from those CTs on a pistol round like this. Just I got one more on Fallen and that incendiary on ZQK, but here they go right into B. Can Steel and Fallen hold on to this? They got a nice crossfires between Spools and Oranges, and they'll peek out. They will get that first kill, and another here from Fallen. He grabs 2, and Steel is able to stay alive, but the rotation cut off by flowsicK. He moves out, finds Fernando. Steel, though, gets flowsicK. So you do have man advantage to KEYD. Still pretty low. He's peeking into Nitro here, holding very close, kind of right out in the open at an angle you maybe wouldn't expect, and Nitro wins that out flawlessly with that Tech 9. Molotov to come in. That forces one to move, and quick reactions by boltz will bring down adreN. Oh, Nitro flips around through that smoke very nicely. But again, that 2-on-1, ZQK was there to expect it. Can't find the bomb. Doesn't have a kit, but doesn't matter. He's got the time.
Pretty brutal for Liquid. They managed to burst through the defense, but still, they lose on the retake. And I said before, Liquid needed that pistol round. And I guess the saving grace is, yes, they got 4 frags and they got the bomb down, so they can go ahead and eco this round and then force up AK's next one. But still, they wanted that round, right? They desperately wanted that round. And they're going for the force now, so they're not content to wait for the AK-47s. They want to try and crack the skulls of KEYD Stars. Let's see where they push. They have a lot of grenades to play with as well. This could work. It's going to be rough, though.
I imagine Team Liquid has something crafty up their sleeves with all these Molotovs. They'll use one at the top of Banana to get control, but Fernando just, oh my gosh, relentless pushing down Banana. He finds EliGE, and he almost actually backpedals into that Molotov, and then his teammate who was shooting, but no, he'll live with 1 HP. And now the round for Team Liquid, it just looks so hard.
That's the issue with forcing up the Tech 9s when you could have AKs next round. Is for me, it's kind of rolling the dice. And it seems that maybe Liquid got snake eyes this time around. They still have a glimmer of hope, right? It's not over just yet. They've got 4 players alive. They still have a lot of utility to play with. First only on 1 HP. And they are going for what I would say is the correct decision onto B, because this is going to be a 4v2. The problem is the 2 players they're coming up against have a pretty solid crossfire, and that's just about to become a 3rd player in the form of Fallen. He was on Speedway. He is moving around. Nitro taking point. Right, that flashbang just lands in their faces. And Steel from the back of sight alongside his teammate of just ringing down all kinds of trouble on top of Liquid. They're going to fall surely. Both of them are super low. And there we go, Steel with the double kill at the end.
4K for Steel.
And the other thing, Helium, KEYD Stars only lost 1 player.
Yeah.
That was a full buy from Liquid. That was a commitment. They didn't get the bomb planted. And they only got 1 kill. That is pretty horrific.
I'm very surprised they didn't expect the 2nd person, right? Because it was Steel that was getting all the frags on the entry from that Dark Spotter emo position. They go in, they kill Fernando, but I guess they don't realize it was Fernando. They're just like, oh, we killed the guy that was back there. And then Steel, of course, just repeats and finds another double kill just like that. Even with them killing Steel, Liquid was probably dropping that round. But, well, now they're on that full save. This could have been their rifle round, of course, but they decided to go for that very forceful play. Maybe trying to just be a bit unexpected, but it does not pay off. Fernando's early aggression in that round paid off in dividends, and now here we are into round 18. ZQK rocking out this porch boost, ready to Molotov up Boiler. There it will go. Perfectly timed. Just going to trap them in there.
Just see the whole of Liquid go, oh crap.
Yep, they're like,
Just
oh.
gotta pull back. I mean, you just gotta stop. And the thing is that P90 could be so brutal. If they just come through here single file, that P90 is going to do so much damage. But he has got two separate angles to cover. Got no help from the rest of his team, though, which I'm a bit surprised. Just saying, come on, guys, help me out here. Throw me a bone. Fur in a sneaky spot gets the one frag. He gets traded out, and Liquid looking pretty good here, although they are very low on hit points. FugLy's got nearly 100% of his hit points remaining, but boltz on the side with the MP7 should be able to do damage. He's down to 7 HP, and he does get dropped as well. But here comes the cleanup crew on aisle 2. There's 2 frags and a third from Steel. And that was a lot better from Teal and Liquid. That was a full eco, right?
That was maybe all Glocks, man.
Yeah.
And they almost had that. I don't know what Keydstars was doing at the top and middle. They were like, P90 on top of Porch will be enough. They can't get past that. And then, I mean, he barely even got 1 kill. And the player from Arch, who I don't even think was smoked off, right? Because it was a full eco. He didn't really assist too much there.
Yeah,
that was Fernando.
They used to smoke from Keydstars. I think it was thrown in from Fur to mid, and then they just said, okay, guys, let's press that foot down the accelerator and just rush through all guns blazing, and 4 kills is not too shabby at all. The problem is that Keydstars are starting to get momentum, and they're on CT side. So, yeah, you got 4 kills, but the important currency now is rounds. You've got to convert that into rounds when you get the assault rifles, and already they've lost their star player. So it's kind of like 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards for Liquid. All right, I think Helium's having a couple technical difficulties, so I'll just carry on with the cast. As you're seeing Liquid just chilling out in the apps, and as I said, you know, with losing that first player, it's so important. They keep their composure, they don't do anything too desperate, they've got grenades to play with, and they've got an entry onto boltz. That's pretty crucial. However, they are going to play this one slow and steady. They're not going to rush in like they did last round with the Glocks, and that's definitely a wise decision for now. The problem is that does allow Keydstars to plant their feet on the ground. Look at this, though. They're not rotating. This is back. The frag from Pit, and now it's looking really good for Keydstars, and they take down the round. Oh, hello? I'm all good. I'm all good. Cool. So I think we had a couple technical difficulties, guys. Hopefully you can hear me. I was casting that last round. I'm not sure if I came through or not. But either way, Liquid are going to be onto potential force buy. No, they're going to go for some grenades and some pistol upgrades. So they kind of lacked a lot of penetration thus far on the T side. I mean, that is 4 consecutive rounds now to Keydstars. A couple of them have came close down to the wire, but again, it's going to be a push. This time it's on B side. Steel gets the kill. All got the entry, or I should say the defensive frag first off, and more importantly, got the information that it was a B rush. And you can see that Keystars, they're just locking themselves down and making sure we get ourselves into good position here. Smoke coming through, EliGE and Nitro, last 2 remaining players for Liquid. Lots of time on the board, but that's all they have. And eventually that is also going to start to work against them. Pop flashing potentially from the side of Keydstars, and Brazilians looking so potent. As EliGE is going to be taking point with that Deagle. It's capable, of course, of creating big craters and foreheads if you do connect the dots, but it's not looking too good for them as ZQKS does get the AWP shot across, and that's going to be all she wrote for round number 20. Keydstars picking up the round with just 1 loss. So, here we go, into the 21st round. Are you back, Helium? He's back in, but can't hear. I'll just keep going. It's all good.
I can hear you again now. I'm back.
Ah, hello. How you doing?
I guess I've been better at this point, because this was a pretty sick match, and I've, lost focus on the last couple rounds with those technical difficulties, but it looks like we're back. Keydstars, doing what we would expect here. 5, or maybe more than what we might have expected, right? We've already had a rifle round or 2 under our belts for the second half, but KEYD leading 12-8 now.
Yeah, they're looking really solid, man. I mean, these been pretty comfortable rounds thus far on CT, and I said, you know, if they got around 4 or 5 rounds, they'll be happy. Their CT is so strong. Getting 7 rounds, I feel, may have just been the final straw for Team Liquid. Thus far, it's 6 rounds on CT side that K-Stars have picked up with ease. A couple of them have gone down to the last player, but I feel that was kind of dumb mistakes from KEYD Stars rather than individual brilliance from Liquid. Not to be too harsh, but yeah, it's just seemed pretty comfortable thus far from KEYD Stars. And again, Liquid are going to be able to buy back up because they're on loss bonus, but is it going to mean anything?
Time will tell. Team Liquid with a shot at this round. We again see 2 of those Molotovs. One of them going out early. That's just to try to, you know, get a foothold here in Banana, but ZQKS is still at a great angle to try to get one. They're even boosting over, hoping he pushes out to Karn. Actually, he is kind of crouching and sliding out towards her, but I don't know if he's going to peek wide enough. And even then, right, it's just an AK. He could miss that. Nitro hoping for that one tap. And he's going to boost up behind that. He will be spotted. He hits the op shot. Nitro down to 19. ZQK down to 67, but no kills.
Yep, this could prove to be pretty costly for Liquid. But this has been the issue. They typically get through to this part of the round, right? It's deja vu. They get into apps, they get a lot of real estate, they get a lot of information, but then they lack that final killer instinct to take the round. They lack that final X factor to break through onto the site, to get the bomb plant and convert it into a round. And that's where KEYD Stars have really shone on their CT, and that's just blocking them up, putting that big barrier between themselves and Liquid. And this round seems to be going the same way. Liquid, with 30 seconds to go, are going to look to push on, but look at this. KEYD Stars have read the script. They put themselves in prime position to fend off this push, and there's lots of damage being exchanged, and it's all going the way from KEYD Stars onto Liquid. They're dropping like flies, and KEYD are probably going to pick this one up flawlessly. Nitro drops, nobody dies from KEYD, and man, that's pretty much this side in a nutshell from KEYD.
boltz finding a nice 3K there, and boltz for me has almost been, you know, man of the match. He's had so many rounds. He's been involved in a lot of the final showdowns, whether it be 2v2, 1vx on either side, you know, alone on that one or with the multiple people against one, but still, he's just been clutch in those situations. He's been locking down the sights on these defenses. Fallen also doing really great. 20 kills for him, and everyone pretty close together. Steel was, yeah, we were a little worried in, you know, those first like 7 rounds of the first half when he didn't have any kills on the board, but even he's climbing back. He's at least into double digits right now. He's 11 and 13, only -2. flowsicK has been a little bit off, and well, living up to his name, because I think he is actually sick in real life, so maybe having a somewhat of an off day with only 9 kills, and wasn't the best performing there in that Cloud9 series either. It was quite good the other day, though, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, I can definitely understand if he's not feeling 100%. CS is a pretty brutal game. It's not very forgiving, to say the least. You need to have 100% focus into this, so hopefully it gets better soon. But regardless, Liquid, they've lost EliGE first once again, and he's not having the same impact that he did in the previous best of 3. Again, he dropped 60 frags collectively in 2 maps, this time on 17, which isn't terrible by any stretch of the imagination, but it's definitely not the carry bags that he was performing last time around. And again, KEYD Stars, they have the advantage in players, and all of Liquid are congregating around mid, and they seem caught in 2 minds where to go. And again, Helium, they haven't won a single round on T so far. That is 7 unanswered rounds in a row for the Brazilians.
And it really should be 8. I mean, it doesn't look like you're... Oh my gosh, boltz getting one through the smoke, but, you know, getting a taste of his own medicine. He has right back. adreN will take him down, but he doesn't care. It's 4-on-2 right now, and I think they have a sense they just lit up adreN. Fernando with the headshots. Both of those coming through smoke. I think he might have been able to see adreN, or just really expecting the plant there in default, or that further up spot is... Someone called it pizza when I was playing one time in matchmaking. The little slice where you can plant before default. I was like, that's the perfect name for that spot. And I believe he was planting there in pizza, but sprayed down through the smoke.
I wonder if I'm going to end up being correct here, Liam, because I said I thought it would be 16-8, 16-9, and it could be going that way. I didn't expect it to be that case, though, when it was 6-1 at one point to Liquid.
Yeah.
It just goes to show, from 6-1 to Liquid's favour to 15-8 for KEYD Stars. That's a bit of a shift.
Yeah, they're just adjusted to it, really, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they couldn't get past anything, but then they just took B like 3 times in a row. Then, you know, they were able to switch up a fake at B, go A, or just take A straight up. That's worked out fantastic for KeyStars. 3-on-3, Team Liquid's best shot they've had in a while, as they will get the bomb, and it's a full-on retake scenario here for KEYD. Fernando, first responder, moving in through constructions. Looks like the other two, that's boltz and ZQK, will come up through CT.
It's looking good right now for Liquid in this round, but they're going to have to rinse and repeat so many more times if they're to bring us into overtime. And here comes the retaliation from flowsicK with 2 quick-fire frags for himself. Nicely done. And the bomb is ticking down. Surely too much and too little too late for Fur. He gets picked off in the back of the head as he tries to run away. They are going to end up losing that off, and that's pretty significant as well.
Yeah, their money is still wrecked.
Oh, man.
I mean, they get less money for that than they do, you know, when they were planting the bomb and losing, right?
I can't really exaggerate enough just how much losing that AWP could have wrecked them. Because now instead of having an AWP onto adreN, he's on a Tech 9. Which is still good, but I mean, you take the AWP any day of the week over the Tech 9.
Oh, still going for the pop Molotov. I'm actually kind of like that. That's cool. Let the flash be thrown by, looks like ZQK they're supporting. Or maybe that was even Fallen, because they did run 3 initially. They're kind of waiting for a very quick push from Liquid, maybe expecting, you know, that Tech 9 drive-by. Which still might be coming, but not maybe as fast as KEYD was hoping, since they put 3 there initially. Now they transfer back to that default setup with 3 at A.
I wonder, are we going to see a sick comeback from Liquid, who've been on fire tonight? They have really been on form. They're flying high. We are moving to cash after this map. Maybe that's where we will start to see the comeback in effect. But KeyStars, they've looked so comfortable on their CT side. It looks like a bit of a fake for now, with Liquid opting for 3 players through mid. Again, they get a lot of information, a lot of aggression, but really doesn't turn into anything. And the important point is that they haven't really converted that aggression into rounds so far on T-side, barring the last one. 25 seconds, and they're still in such a precarious position. The smoke down, followed by a Molotov. This should be KeyStars wrapping up this entire map, to be fair.
Oh, Steal, that's
Go and check.
Oh my goodness, he gets 1 kill but gets traded out, and ZQS, he's not in the greatest position with the AWP, but if he can just keep them off that site for a few more moments, the rest of the team should follow suit and get this round back in their favor. The bomb's been planted. Now Liquid, they're in a good position to maybe get their 10th round.
Fernando will take out adreN, though. He's down to 28 HP. It's a 3-on-3. flowsicK moving back into the dark. You do have players actually flanking those terrorists coming around the backside of construction. Nitro out towards CT. They were really not expecting the terrorists to have made their way out and already wrapped around behind them. So Team Liquid will find another round here. Money's still a bit tight on those 3 players that were deceased there on the side of Team Liquid. 5 matched points remain for KeyStars, and this will be, you know, the end of the golden era of the CT economy, right? If they lose this one, KEYD will have to save. So round 26, very important here for Team Liquid. Could go for that 2-for-1. And Nitro starting off with a beautiful shot. He'll bring down boltz.
It's just the beauty of Counter-Strike that KeyStars found this out themselves. 6-1 behind. They managed to break the economy and claw their way back into a fantastic 8-7 half. And maybe Liquid can take one for themselves as well here. It's looking good. They've got the entry frag, but ZQKS does peek round the corner, gets the return onto adreN. They don't check dark.
Oh, that flash! He just blinded himself. It didn't go anywhere, and it gave his position away. EliGE gets one, but Fernando's still striking from behind in these apartments, and he's thinking someone is behind him. But look at Fallen coming up with that FAMAS. He brings down Nitro. Now it's just EliGE in a 1v3. Man, that round turned around so quickly. Looks like Team Liquid had another shot, but this could be it. It should really seal the deal here on map 1. Inferno, EliGE, though, still fighting, finds a headshot. He's got the bomb, and 40 seconds. Planting it will be hard. Fallen back to the library. That'll be smoked off. And the other player top of mid, he goes for that fake, hoping Fallen will push him, but no one bites on it, so EliGE is going to have to go on the hunt. Well, pop flash through even. He gets him. He hears that FAMAS, but no, blind. He gets caught in the face. And Fallen will take it. 16-10 is map 1. KeyStars pick of Inferno. It goes their way, and man, they're looking really solid.
They're looking great. Absolutely great. But we did expect that KEYD would pick up Inferno. I
Yeah, we
think
did.
both of us would have said before, or we did say before that map started, our favorites to get map number 1 would be KEYD, and my favorite to get map number 2 would be certainly Liquid. So the thing is, though, with the momentum going the way it did, with it being such a seesaw kind of up and down yo-yo map, coming into the second map, KEYD Stars surely are in a better place mentally, right? I mean, they just put that second half of that map was phenomenal for them. They did a great CT side. They even did a great T side as well, to be fair. And 16-10 is pretty one-sided as well, all things considered. So I think KEYD Stars coming into this are feeling really good, but Liquid, they have to just dust themselves down and say, okay, that was then, this is now. This is our map. This is our time to try and take us into a third map on Overpass and win this and get ourselves $7,500.